So what I'm going to do is going to give a little placement on why rest is essential in our grief. So firstly, let's talk about why rest is essential in our grief. And this is because, as we will all know through our own experiences of grief, grief is that it's a full body and mind and spirit experience. It is all of us. And actually, when we're grieving, we need our rest because our rest allows for our emotional processing. That sleep and quiet time helps our brains to process our grief and also helps it to make our grief more manageable. And grief can keep our nervous system in a dysregulated state. So you might relate to feeling in that fight flight mode. And rest practices help us to down regulate our nervous system. There's a reason that actually there's a state of being that's called rest and digest. And these rest practices can help us to access that calm and that rest and digest state. As we go into these rest practices, the more of these little rest practices that we bring in, it can just help to just gently lower those stress hormones. Then rest practices also can help to support us in the brain fog that many of you, I'm sure, can relate to. And that forgetfulness, that fatigue, and everything else that we can feel in that clouded mind. And rest is essential for our brain in general. And in grief, it's really important because also what our brain is doing is it's working really hard to do some neurological rewiring as well. There's a lot that's going on inside. And as well as we'll know, grief drains our batteries. It really, really does feel like it puts our battery on empty. So as we'll know, again, rest is essential, but also because grief can impact our immune system, it can weaken it. And actually, rest really supports and boosts our immune system and gives us those building blocks for us to get back on our feet. And then by way of our sleep, I think there's a really important note here that, as many of us know, and I put my hand up right now, I'm in a griefy phase and I'm waking up every single night at 3 a.m. So grief can be impacted, or grief can impact our sleep. So really important note that if your sleep is disrupted exactly as mine has and still is in these different waves, actually, as I'll share today, there's many types of rest that we can get alongside our sleep, and also those rest practices that also can create the ideal conditions for our sleep. So I want all of us to come into this space and see that actually if our sleep is disturbed, there's many other things that can really support us in just topping up our little inner battery along the way.